Okay, coming in 24 hours tomorrow, there's a major event that's going to happen here in our country, and it's going to affect millions of people. Well, really, pretty much the whole country. Let me show you, and we'll go over all the different things that are going to happen here when this ends. Yeah, so as you can see here, what goes away when the C-19 health emergency ends this week? This starts tomorrow. The state of emergency is over, and that will affect everything from free vaccines and tests to food assistance programs to millions of people losing their Medicaid assistance. And maybe most importantly of all, well, it really depends on the person, but one of the key changes is the border policy as well. That's right. Title 42 expires. Yeah, and as you can see here, President Biden is sending 1,500 military troops to the Mexican border as fears of migrants surge grows. Illegal migrants crossing the border is expected to surge to over 10,000 illegal migrants per day. Per day. And just to give you an idea of what some people are thinking might happen, I'll show you this picture here of a viral 2018 photo showing thousands of migrants that has resurfaced with claims about Title 42's end. This is an actual photo from 2018 that was taken in southern Mexico. As you can see here, and this photo on Twitter says, "This is an invasion. Send in the military and treat this like this is an invasion. Secure the border now." Now, this actual photo didn't have to do with Title 42 expiring because this photo was before Title 42 happened or was even in place. But this is what a lot of people are concerned about happening here yet again. This was an actual photo of migrants, illegal migrants, going to the border because these people were actually going to the US border and trying to cross illegally. They didn't have, papers, and they weren't allowed to, come into the US legally. So, as you can see here in this photo, they're literally going on for as far as the eye can see in what appears to be thousands of migrants trying to come into the United States, holding multiple flags of multiple different countries. So, a lot of people are concerned that this is what is going to happen because Title 42 is expiring. Title 42 is the pandemic era policy that was put in place by former President Donald Trump and then was extended. It's a pandemic policy. And now that the pandemic has been declared over, and who's to blame for this? I don't know, but the pandemic's declared over, and the Republicans were pushing to have the pandemic declared over because it was costing the country a lot of money for a lot of different reasons. I'll get to some of those here in a moment, but now that the pandemic is declared over, the country's not spending a lot of money on various things. For example, SNAP benefits have been lowered dramatically. There's tens of millions of people that are no longer getting food stamp, extra food stamp, pandemic benefits. Those have been stopped for tens of millions of Americans with food already at an all-time high. If you were on the SNAP program and you were getting the extra bonus benefits, you know that you're getting now a considerable amount less. In the Republicans' new budget proposal for the cuts that they're doing for the debt limit negotiations, they're also looking to expand work requirements on SNAP and Medicaid, which would further reduce this for even more people going forward. So we've gone over that here in the channel. And again, I'm not from either side. I'm just kind of giving you guys the details here. We've gone over that more in details here in the past if you've been watching my channel. And also, with the pandemic being declared over, there's potentially up to 18 million people going to lose their Medicaid status. This is because when the pandemic was in states, and now that it's declared over, the states were basically accepting anybody onto Medicaid without checking. Okay. Now that it's over, they have to actually go and check to see if they're eligible for Medicaid. Okay. This means checking their income and, checking all the requirements. Okay. I've had some people in the comments section saying that they're actually doing video conferences with people and checking all the dotting the I's, crossing the T's. So now that they're doing this, the government's saying up to 18 million people are going to lose Medicaid. So guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments here. But this is going to be a drastic reduction in costs for the government, from SNAP benefits to Medicaid benefits and a whole slew of other things here as well. So some of this stuff's good, some of this stuff's bad. We're going to have thousands of illegal migrants crossing the border. The government's not going to be spending nearly as much money on some of this stuff. In addition to all this, C-19 food assistance work requirements for federal food assistance programs that were paused during the pandemic will return now in more than 24 mostly Republican-controlled states. Certain administrative rules that helped people receive SNAP assistance programs benefits will also end. CDC C-19 trackers will lose access to some surveillance data it used to access risk, requiring it to shelve community access levels. They'll also not be tracking this as well. You'll see here that they have now waived several reporting requirements for hospitals to lessen the burden now that it's over. They have actually waived requirements that hospitals report the next day a patient death and intensive care units. So we will probably not see reporting of cases here, maybe nearly not as accurate as we have seen in the past. Medicare testing reimbursement. Older adults on Medicare will no longer be able to obtain 8 rapid over-the-counter C-19 tests at no cost once the emergency ends, which is basically here now in a day. Medicare generally does not cover or pay for over-the-counter products. However, the tests ordered by doctors will still be covered with no out-of-pocket costs. Private insurers will also no longer be required to reimburse for tests, 8 tests per month, or laboratory tests. But they're urging them to continue coverage. We'll see what happens. People with coverage through Medicaid or the Children's Health Insurance Program will continue to have coverage for no-cost OTC rapid tests through September 30th, 2024. Prescriptions for medications such as Adderall and maybe several other ones, the DEA has proposed curtailing pandemic rules that allowed patients to be prescribed controlled substance for ADHD and opiate use disorder without having to go to a doctor first. These rules, which are not finalized, will now probably need to see doctors before they can take the drug. Honestly, a lot of changes like that will take place. Vaccines and treatments will transition to the commercial market in coming months. The government still has supplies of vaccines and Paxlovid until they run out. Doctors are federally have acquired shots and are required to give them at no out-of-pocket cost to people regardless of their insurance status. But once federal supplies of treatments are exhausted, those not on Medicaid will likely face out-of-pocket expenses, similar to cost sharing for other drugs. People with Medicaid will continue to have access to them until September 30th, 2024. Older adults will continue to have access to no-cost C-19 vaccines under Medicare Part B. The border issue will be a massive, massive issue, and we will see what happens here. I will keep you up to date with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. What are your thoughts here on this? And a lot of people being affected here as well, losing food stamp benefits with food at an all-time high, losing Medicaid, and lots of other things. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's completely free to subscribe. And thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Here's some videos you should watch next. President Biden may have to invoke the 14th Amendment in this video, and the government just sent out an urgent message to millions of Americans. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.